in her eyes, something's off.
She looked like a soldier.
Something's off with her.
No, it's good.
What? Joel, I think I found something.
Whoa!
What?
Oh, nothing. It's just your forehead seems bigger than last season.
The Last of Us Season 2 is out. Episode 4 is the latest, and it is bombing.
We made a deal to tell this story, and we're telling this story.
The Last of Us was plagued by complaints of bad casting.
It was just another episode of the Joe Rogan Experience until Bella Ramsey's name came up. As always, Joe was joined by comedian and podcaster Tim Dillon, and the conversation quickly turned into one of the most unexpected roast sessions of the year. The two didn't hold back, cracking jokes and raising eyebrows across the internet after digging into Bella's latest controversy. What started as a casual jab turned into a 90-minute masterclass in comedic takedown. And for Bella, it was a public humiliation that echoed far beyond the walls of the podcast studio.
I'm sorry. That was acting. That's what that was. I don't really care what happens with this movie. I really hope her career is pretty much over. I'd be thrilled to see that. I can't imagine.
For some reason, they made the decision for The Last of Us Season 2 to make Ellie dumb, to the point where she even says that she's stupid. Why?
Joe kicked things off by bringing up a recent article he'd seen online. Bella Ramsey wants to reshape Ellie's character arc in Season 3 to be more personal. That one line had Rogan shaking his head before he even finished reading. Personal? He laughed. It's a post-apocalyptic survival story, not therapy. Tim Dillon burst out laughing. Maybe she thinks Ellie should spend less time running from clickers and more time journaling. The audience in the studio cracked up, and the internet was about to do the same.
I had to not like each other for a bit.
You had to not like me, which came easy.
Show is finally speaking out about its failure. The Last of Us creator Craig Mazin admits Season 2 was a finale, drew over 50% less than the finale of Season 1. You lost...
Ellie! Oh my goodness, Joel! What do I do? Jesus! Joel, focus! Again, Joel! Okay, I guess just use your telekinesis? I don't have telekinesis, Joel! I don't believe you! Look at the size of that thing! Just try, Ellie, please! Clown cranium! Yeah!
What followed was a relentless breakdown of Bella's run as Ellie and the collapse of The Last of Us show as a result. Joe brought up how Season 1 had real momentum because of Pedro Pascal, the tight narrative, and the loyalty to the game. But by Season 2, everything started to drift. The moment Bella got comfortable, Joe said the show got weird. Tim jumped in immediately. It stopped being The Last of Us and started being the inner monologue of Bella Ramsey. Every scene had to have a message, a pause, or some awkward monologue about feelings. Where's the survival part? The crowd laughed again, and the podcast started trending on social media within hours. Joe explained that he had nothing against actors speaking up for causes, but not at the expense of the story. You have a role to play, he said. Your job is to serve the character, not turn them into your Twitter bio. And Maparidi were...
Like most people, I liked the first season. I thought they did a great job. Season 2, I was skeptical on them not recasting Ellie and keeping Bella Ramsey as Ellie because it's supposed to take place 5 years into the future, but obviously Bella Ramsey in real life was not going to age that much in, the 2 years it took between seasons. So in the show, Ellie still looks exactly the same, but is supposed to be 5 years older. Also, Ellie still acts exactly the same.
Yes, maybe we can prop it open with something and you can slide...
Whoa!
Oh my god, what? Is it getting bigger?
Stop it.
No, seriously, what's with that?
It's fine, Joel.
Does it hurt?
Joel, please. You're making me self-conscious.
I'm sorry, it's just a little bit startling.
It's a normal head, Joel. Can we just get back to the door things?
It's planetary.
Leave it.
It's gonna have its own area code soon.
Up your impression at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the noise is the same. I've not got any more noises in my back. The new infected are pretty terrifying. They're so smart, and they haven't really got a noise. That's the whole point of them. They're silent and terrifying.
Ooh, give us a little silent and terrifying.
Tim agreed and added, you could see the show shifting around her. Like producers were walking on eggshells. Instead of leading a franchise, she started treating it like a TikTok account. Joe laughed and mimicked a fake pitch meeting. Okay, so Ellie's running through an infected building, dodging monsters, and then she stops and says, by the way, my pronouns are... No, that's not the time. At this point, even fans of the show couldn't defend what had happened. Season 2 viewership had dropped significantly. Joe pulled up the numbers mid-show, reading them aloud with disbelief. "That's almost half the audience gone by episode 4, he said. "That's not a slow burn. That's a funeral march." Tim shook his head. And somehow, Bella thought season 3 would be her redemption arc. Girl, the show got canceled. There is no season 3. They both paused to laugh at that one. Then came the real roasting. Joe played a short clip from a recent Bella interview where she'd said, "I think Ellie's story should evolve with the times." Joe paused the video, looked at Tim, and said, "That's the problem. The times didn't ask for it. The story was already written. We loved it how it was." Tim added, "You don't walk into The Godfather and ask if Michael Corleone can start a podcast. You just don't." Another burst of laughter filled the studio. As the episode continued, they moved on to Bella's red carpet moment, her infamous "I'm gonna be a dad" comment. Tim didn't miss a beat. "Oh yeah, that line, that was the exact moment season 3 died." Joe agreed, saying that moment didn't just confuse people, it alienated the audience. They didn't know if she was joking or making a point. Either way, it pulled focus away from the show and toward her. And that's what Joe and Tim kept circling back to. The focus. How Bella seemed less interested in Ellie's arc and more invested in reshaping the character into something she could personally control. The problem, the fans weren't asking for that. They wanted Ellie. The Ellie they knew from the game, not a new version designed to match an actor's public persona. The second half of the episode dug even deeper into what Joe called the Hollywood ego problem. He brought up how some actors now think they're bigger than the material they're given. They're hired to play a part, he said, but suddenly they want to rewrite the entire show, direct the scene, add commentary, and get the last word in the press tour. Tim clapped and added, "It's like ordering a pizza and the delivery guy starts explaining how he wants to improve the recipe. No one asked." The clip went viral within hours. Fans edited side-by-side comparisons of Ellie in the game and Bella on the show using Rogan's voiceover. One's a character, the other's an actor playing dress-up. Even former cast and crew members started liking tweets, criticizing the show's downfall, subtle signs that Rogan and Dillon had said what others were too afraid to admit. The media was quick to pick it up. Articles titled "Joe Rogan Roasts Bella Ramsey Over Last of Us Collapse" started popping up. Headlines praised the brutal honesty. Even forums that had once defended Bella began acknowledging that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't the right fit after all. What made the entire situation worse for Bella was that this wasn't her first brush with fan rejection. From the moment she was cast, a portion of the fan base had pushed back, not for who she was personally, but because she didn't match the tone, look, or feel of Ellie. Instead of trying to bridge that gap, she dug in. She posted cryptic messages, clapped back in interviews, and distanced herself from the source material. Joe called it career sabotage. She was handed a cultural goldmine, he said, and instead of mining it, she planted a flag and tried to rename the territory. Tim nodded, and then acted surprised when people left. Toward the end of the episode, Joe pulled up the now viral meme of Bella holding a fake Emmy trophy with the caption, "For Best Solo Rewrite of a Franchise." The audience roared. Joe laughed and said, "You know what? That might be the only award this show wins now." As the episode wrapped up, both Joe and Tim expressed sympathy, not for Bella Ramsey, but for the fans. They waited so long to see this story on screen, Joe said, and instead they got a performance that didn't honor the legacy. Tim closed it perfectly. You don't fix a masterpiece, you deliver it. And if you can't do that, then maybe you're not the one who should be holding the brush. By the next day, the podcast episode had climbed to the top of Spotify's trending chart. Clips were circulating across every platform, from Instagram Reels to YouTube commentary videos. The message was consistent. Bella Ramsey had lost the fans, and now she was losing the narrative too. As the dust began to settle after the explosive podcast episode, Bella Ramsey's team scrambled to contain the fallout. PR agents rushed to craft carefully worded statements, but the damage had already spread like wildfire. Hashtags like hashtag Rogan Roast Bella and hashtag Not My Ellie trended for days. Even casual fans who hadn't seen the show were now clicking clips, reading headlines, and forming opinions based on the viral backlash. Bella, once framed as HBO's bold casting choice, now stood at the center of a storm she could no longer control. Behind the scenes, insiders revealed that producers were having serious second thoughts about continuing the Last of Us franchise at all. HBO, a network known for riding out controversies, wasn't convinced a season 3 could win back viewers who had grown disillusioned. It wasn't just Bella's polarizing performance or her public comments, it was the atmosphere around the show. It had shifted from a celebration of survival storytelling to a chaotic battleground of personal branding, fan discontent, and creative confusion. Joe Rogan, meanwhile, doubled down in his next episode, addressing the blowback head on. Look, it's not about Bella as a person, he clarified. It's about what happens when actors forget that they're supposed to serve the story, not hijack it. Tim Dillon echoed him in a follow-up interview saying, "This wasn't bullying, this was course correction. The fans spoke first, we just amplified it." Even longtime fans of Bella's previous work started admitting that maybe, just maybe, The Last of Us was never the right fit. And as the industry watched HBO's next move, one thing became clear. The golden age of the show had ended not with a bang, but with a whisper, and a podcast roast heard around the world.